Naylor wasn't just playing doctor, he actually killed someone.
And then we can nail him for it, we will. But for now, let's focus on the fraud. Not like our friend Naylor's got a foot to stand on. Still, life's all about compromise.
There was no need to compromise. Naylor was bluffing. Does that sound about right? What?
My mistake.
Well, the star of Law and Order UK, Peter Davison, is with us now. I'm delighted to say.
Thank you.
You've been a vet. You've been a doctor, of course.
Yes.
You've been a detective.
Yes.
And now you're a lawyer.
Yes, I'm now moving in my older years into my lawyer phase of my career. I've done the doctor, you know, as you said, the detective and the bad husband. Yeah. So now it's rather dignified. I'm hoping to bring a bit of dignified...
So this is a dignified character. Tell us a little bit about the character that you play.
Well, he's ahead of the Crown Prosecution Service, so it's down to him who gets prosecuted and for what. Right. And he has a team of barristers under him.
So he's got a balancing act to do, doesn't he? Because he's got to make sure that he gets convictions as well.
That's right, and therefore that depends on what charge you go for. You can decide if you can go for the murder charge. If you can't get that, you go for manslaughter. Is it going to cost the public money? Is the CPS going to get a lot of flack for it if it doesn't succeed? There's lots of things to juggle.
Now, often these people are kind of tortured souls in their personal life and things, but I gather that he's not so much.
No, I don't think he is a tortured soul at all.
Quite refreshing, really.
I think he has a very nice private life. You never see very much of it. It's not really mentioned. But I think he's a very good and calming influence on his team. They can be rather headstrong.
I see. Okay.
Younger, you know.
Did you do the thing of researching it and getting, you know, immersing yourself in the role and everything else?
You know, like a lot of things, you always start off with those plans. Do a lot of research, and I was going to meet up with the actually the guy who's the advisor on the programme. But that never, because I was in a show at the same time. Never got around to doing that, but you get a good feel of it. And I've got a couple of friends who are barristers, and I talk to them about it.
Can I have their number? I need them.
She's mine.
Now, you've actually acted with some of the other characters before, haven't you? And some of them are friends of yours. And, well, you know, you've worked
I know Freema, of course. I've not
I've
acted with her, but she's, you know, we revolve in the same Doctor Who world.
Yes,
so,
indeed, yeah.
I knew her, of course.
And, of course, Law and Order is not only here, but it's in the States. I mean, are you tempted to watch them and kind of get ideas from them, or is that the worst thing you can do?
Well, I did watch their series, of course, when I knew I was doing it. But, of course, our series, the BBC, the British series, is now exported back to America. And so, and they actually love it. They love it.
And do you think it's got a bit of a different tone? Is it more of a reserved British version?
Well, it has to be different because the legal system is very, very different over here. So I think a lot of them are based on the American scripts, but they're so changed that I think they're unrecognisable. So when they watch them back in America, they think, oh, this is wonderful, I've never seen this story before. But in fact, they probably have in some form.
Right, OK.
How do you go on with people like Bradley Walsh? Because I know Bradley, well, and he's murder for practical jokes and things like that. I
say fortunately, I only had to do one scene.
In a good way.
Yeah, in a good way. But he found one particular line rather amusing, and so we just laughed all the way through the scene. I think it was getting the director a bit nuts, but it was great fun.
No, I'd quite like to know how you actually managed to film this whole series, because at the same time, you've been in Legally Blonde, haven't you?
Yes, I indeed playing a lawyer.
Exactly. So this really is. It was Professor, haven't you?
That's right. Yeah, Professor Callahan. Although in this case, a deeply unpleasant.
Is it quite a different? Are they two quite different characters?
Very, very different. Yes. I mean, you couldn't get more polar opposites, really. Professor Callahan is a very deeply unpleasant, troubled person who's rather mean to his students, and I'm a rather kind of kindly soul. But the problem was, from the point of view of filming, was they would always call me first thing in the morning because they knew they had to get the scenes done because they had to get me back to the theatre. Right. So I was always called at 6 o'clock in the morning, so it was a bit tough. You started at 6 o'clock in the morning and then you work in the West End until, what, sort of 10:30 Well,
at night?
10:15 or something.
Do you do any singing?
Yes, I do. I have a big number.
Absolutely, you do. You've got. I mean, the thing is, this has been a really fantastic hit musical, hasn't it? It got a clutch of Olivier Awards.
Yes, it did. Yeah,
and it's doing incredibly well.
It is. It is a terrific show. Yeah.
And so you're enjoying doing it. You're going to stay there for a little bit longer.
Well, I'm staying definitely until October. It is very enjoyable. You know, people say you get bored, but actually you can be just as bored after 3 weeks and then not bored after a year and a half.
Yeah.
The audience lifts you, and it's a great show.
Yeah. No, you've also got Lee Mead has just just arrived as well.
The immediate's
haven't
just
you?
arrived,
And
yes.
how's that going? Because that's mixed it all up again.
Well, of course, it's harder to get out of the stage door now that Leeds in it. It's going very well.
Do you still get people kind of, you know, the diehard Doctor Who fans, do you still get letters and people stopping in the street because of that?
Absolutely, yes, absolutely. There's always a constant. And it's extraordinary. People are Doctor Who fans. I mean, in fact, the show now is made by Doctor Who, the people who watched Doctor Who when I was doing it. And they're actually running the show and writing the show.
Yeah.
So who knows?
Because when they told me you were on today, like as a kid, I was one of them kids who Doctor Who absolutely terrified me.
Oh, yes.
So I was a bit kind of like,
behind the sofa.
You know, but
exactly.
What did I have to worry about? What a lovely man. What a lovely man.
But people still do that now. I was very relieved because I used to do that when I watched it when it first started in 1963.
Did it scare you?
Oh, terrified me, yes. And but it wasn't so much the special effects, it was sort of atmospheric, and it had a marvellous in black and white, of course, and very mysterious. And it had William Hartnell playing the Doctor, who was a sort of scary and yet kindly character. So I used to hide behind the sofa. And I think children all through the years have done exactly the same.
You've recently become a granddad again.
I have, yes.
You've now got a little granddaughter who's also a Time Lord's daughter.
Yeah,
right?
that's right. It's very complicated.
Because your daughter is engaged to David Tennant. So do you think we might be seeing the first female Time Lord in the making?
Well, you know,
is she showing any signs?
I think she might think her lineage makes her so
pretty
qualified.
Pretty
How
good
can
lineage, isn't
anyone
it?
resist the first female Doctor? I don't know. Many years down the line, Doctor number 25.
Exactly. You never know. You never know. You've got a very varied career, but you've also done a little bit of singing along the way, haven't you? When it comes to the theme tune of one of your favourite TV shows of the 80s.
Yeah, no, I didn't know this. Just to explain to the people at home, you actually wrote and sung the theme tune to Button Moon.
Yes, I did. Yes, I've always written songs. You know, I'm a child of the '60s, so I learned to play the guitar, and then I'd write my own songs.
Can you give us a line?
Oh, come on.
Go on.
I don't want to take the
okay, you do want to take the shine off.
That's it. We're off. Follow Mr. Spoon,
Button Moon, be back soon.
People will be laughing hysterically.
I've done it all today now. Rusty Lee, Button Moon.
Okay, no, well...
So much for the dignity I was going to bring to this segment of the programme.